Imagine you're in charge of a work conference with speakers and sessions lined up. It's the day of the event. You have about 200 people attending. The president and the vice president of your company will be coming to your event. You have about half an hour before the doors open. Suddenly, a member of your team comes up to you saying she can't figure out how to use the credit card swiper to process payments at the registration desk, and there's already 3 people who want to pay by credit card. As the day goes on, you discover that that's the least of your problems. You hear that attendees don't know where to go or what time their sessions are. Your key speaker got lost on the way to the conference and is going to be late for his session. Another speaker brought her Mac, but the cable in the conference room is for a PC. That means she's got no slides. After all of those delays, your conference ends 2 hours later than you planned. It ends at 7 p.m. instead of 5 p.m. People are not happy. Now imagine a different kind of conference. At this conference, guests are seamlessly transferred from registration to the morning session, to the lunch, to the afternoon session, to the end. None of your speakers were late because you gave them clear directions to the venue. One of your team members already knew that one of the speakers will be using a Mac and brought an adapter for the cable. One key speaker did have a personal emergency and couldn't make it, but you had a backup speaker waiting in the wings, and that backup speaker took that first speaker's place. The conference finishes at about 5:10. At the end, everyone kept talking about how successful they felt it was and how they're looking forward to the next one, next year. The president and the vice president come to you, personally shake your hand, and tell you what a great job you did. They're going to remember your name. What does it take to prevent you from having a disastrous conference to one that is hugely successful? Well, many things, but not the least of which is having had experiences being Toastmaster of the day. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, being Toastmaster of the day is one of, if not the most critical role in our meetings. As Toastmaster of the day, you are in charge of making sure you're in charge of making sure that before the meeting, everyone knows what they're supposed to do, and that all the meeting roles are filled. And then during the meeting, you're responsible for setting and maintaining the atmosphere of the meeting, that the meeting runs on schedule. And not only that, you have to provide a smooth flow between one item in the agenda to the next. When you're Toastmaster of the day, you have to focus on not only your communication skills, but your leadership skills as well. Specifically, you work on planning and implementation, motivational skills, organization and delegation skills, facilitation, time management, flexibility, thinking on your feet, and keeping your sense of humor. If you think about it, all of the things that went wrong in that conference example are things that could have been avoided by having experience practicing those skills. If the rewards are so great, then why do people hesitate signing up to be Toastmaster of the day? Well, because it's an intimidating job. Most people are worried about 2 things. First, things can go wrong. Yes, things can go wrong. As a matter of fact, let me take it a step further. Things will go wrong. Previous Toastmasters of the day can certainly attest to that. But that's what being Toastmaster of the day helps teach you, learn how to manage. You learn how to plan for things and anticipate challenges. More importantly, you learn how to communicate with the rest of your team to overcome those challenges. And then, on the day itself, when things do go wrong, you learn how to be able to handle yourself with grace and professionalism instead of freaking out. Another thing that people are worried about is that it's a lot of work. Yes, it is. It's a lot of work. But the good news is you don't have to reinvent the wheel. We have tools that can help you. There is the Bert website where you can set up the agenda and print the agenda directly from the website. So you wouldn't have to do it from scratch. On the Bert website, you have access to member emails and members' individual emails as well. We also have the Competent Leader Manual. This manual talks about how you can develop many of the skills that are listed there. You also have your officers who are committed to helping you succeed. Last but not least, you have your fellow Toastmasters who all want to see you do well. Toastmasters by itself is already a supportive environment, but I believe Bert is even more so, which is what makes us a really, really great club. In addition to addressing the reasons why people hesitate, I'm going to give you 3 benefits to being Toastmaster of the Day. When you gain experience as Toastmaster of the Day, you develop leadership skills faster than your colleagues who don't have access to Toastmasters. You gain recognition as someone who is able to do things that most people are afraid to do. You develop greater confidence in your abilities, not to only plan ahead, but to get people to work together. The reality of you pulling off a successful event, work or otherwise, is closer than you think. How close? The opportunity presents itself every first, third, and 5th Saturdays of the month. Think back to that moment when the conference was a huge success. After all that hard work, feel the accomplishment. Feel the recognition. The hand that the executive team is shaking is yours. We have the tools. We have the supportive environment. All that's missing is you saying, I'll try it. I challenge you to grab that opportunity. Sign up to be a Toastmaster of the Day in one of our future meetings. Mr. Toastmaster.